Welcome back. I don't know about you, but I like to collect stuff. I have a lot of stuff in my house. I'm very sentimental. I have a difficult time throwing things away. My wife finally got me to throw away my children's changing pad. I don't change them anymore. It's been years, but I hold on to things. But I don't consider myself a hoarder, okay? I'm just a collector, and I'm a sentimental collector. So what exactly is hoarding? I want to give you a definition. This is according to the Mayo Clinic. Hoarding is the excessive collection of items, along with the inability to discard them, hoarding often creates such cramped living conditions that homes may be filled to capacity, that's not me, with only narrow pathways winding through stacks and stacks of clutter. The problem gaining so much attention these days because of a popular show on TLC. It's called Hoarding, Buried Alive. It airs every Sunday, 9 p.m. Eastern. The show takes a look at how hoarders struggle with the behavior that makes every day unbearable for them and their loved ones. Here's a clip.
You're hurting Charlie.
How?
He's living in a mold-infested environment, Floyd.
But we have no place else to go.
As a psychologist, I'm a mandated reporter.
Yeah.
Since I am a mandated reporter, I'm going to need to call CPS. What I saw in his home was a place that was not fit to raise children. And so I needed to call Child Protective Services and let them know what kind of conditions these children are living in.
They're not going to take my kids because I won't let them do that.
Sometimes they make that decision. You don't get to make that decision.
These kids, they've been with me their whole life.
I mean, I know you love Charlie dearly, but I'm trying to help you see that this is a really grave situation.
You can't take somebody's kids because they don't have as nice a house as you, or because their house isn't up to your code.
It's not my code.
I know. What I'm trying to do is fix things up as we go, and it takes time.
I think it's really important that you realize it's not my code, that they come up with these codes for safety reasons.
It is. Charlie's been with me his whole life.
And I understand
take him out of any of this environment, he is going to flip out.
I'm not going to take him away. I mean, this is up to the Child Protective Services.
That's where me and them would go at it.
Unbelievable stuff on this show on TLC. And now imagine, and this is the situation this gentleman ends up being in, but now there's a mom who also is a hoarder, who's trying to deal with her problem, is now battling for custody after losing custody of her 9-year-old daughter. Take a look.
You can't deny that that house was atrocious.
Mickey Sese says she's gone from a home filled with junk, bugs, toxic mold, rotting floors, pet waste, and excessive debris.
The stuff that's in the house, there was a lot of stuff. I'm not going to say it wasn't there.
To a place that's clean, clear, and safe for her 9-year-old daughter.
The hoarding is the huge issue in this case.
I'm not going to say I probably didn't bring most of it into the house, but it wasn't on me.
We saw the pictures, we got the mold inspection. Pictures don't lie.
She partly blames her ex-husband, but she's the one who lost temporary custody of their daughter.
As far as hoarding, the stuff wasn't anything to me. It's not important. I didn't care if the stuff was there or not.
Judge Cynthia Giuliani found the home she was living in was hazardous.
I've moved out of that house. We have a new house, new furniture. The furniture that's in the house I didn't bring.
Ex-husband Marlon is still fighting for primary custody.
I'm hoping that she just change or get this fixed, but if she can't, well, it's up to the judge.
She says her daughter is all she cares about in this case, but she couldn't prove she's made a fresh start that will stick.
It is what it is. Your job is to get past that so your child has a stable life.
Difficult issue here, because I feel very bad for the hoarders. I mean, I sympathize with what they go through and what they struggle with, but I also know we've got to take care of our children and have them in an environment that is best for them. Joining me tonight, psychologist Dr. Becky Beaton. She's an expert on TLC's Hoarding, Buried Alive. You saw her in the clip there. And in Orlando, criminal defense attorney Maria Hale. Thank you both for joining me. Dr. Becky. Can I call you Dr. Becky?
Please do.
Okay. I feel really bad for these folks. Really, really bad. Now, this woman in this story who's trying to get her daughter back, she's in a new house. Can hoarders be reformed? Can you pluck them out of the house that has all the stuff in it, all the mold and everything else, all the clutter, put them in some place pristine, clear, clean, and make them better? Or does it take more?
In my opinion, it's just a matter of time before the new house becomes cluttered, like the one that she came from. It's in their blood to want to go out and acquire more belongings. And that could be from stores, or it could be from thrift shops or dumpster diving. They get it from all kinds of places. But it's a compulsion to go out and do this, like an addiction, very much so. And she most likely will end up filling up this home like she did the last one, unfortunately.
Maria Hale, when it comes to custody, it always comes down to what's in the best interest of the child. And I'm wondering here, you know, to be in the home of a hoarder is not the best place for a child. But should she be given another chance, a clean start here in a clean house?
Well, Vinny, I don't think anybody can argue with you and say that a child should be living in those conditions. It's absolutely deplorable, and it is not in the best interest of a child to do that. But certainly a person should be given a second chance, and sometimes third and fourth and fifth chances. I mean, we're talking about someone's child, but those people are in denial. I'm not a doctor or a therapist or a psychiatrist, but I'm a counselor and I'm an attorney, and I have counseled many clients and tried to encourage them to not just put a Band-Aid on the problem, whether it be a criminal matter or a family law matter. I've encouraged them to seek help for themselves and for their children, because as much as they want to say, but they're my life, I love those children, that doesn't.
You got to go out and get the help
There's
yourself,
more.
and that's what the problem that's happened here.
Absolutely.
We're going to talk more about it. How do you become a hoarder, and when do you know you're a hoarder? Got a lot of questions for Dr. Becky coming up right here.
I pretty much almost lost it right then, because I realized, hold it, this lady's serious. This lady would take my kids if she had a chance. And it kind of overwhelmed me right then. This ain't gonna happen, because this is not what it was ever intended to happen.
I need to make a report. My name is Dr. Rebecca Beaton. I'm calling from the site where the abuse is occurring.
And that's a clip from Hoarders Buried Alive. It airs on TLC Sundays, 9 p.m. One of the experts on the show, Dr. Becky Beaton, joins us tonight, along with criminal defense attorney Maria Hale. Now, during the commercial break, we've been talking about me a little bit, and I don't want to bother the folks at home with my collecting and the things that I do.
Oh,
but
that might be entertaining.
It could be entertaining, but where is that line? That line between being a sentimental collector like I am, where I'll save, a T-shirt from childhood, where I'll save my children's things and all their school papers and all their artwork and all their pictures and everything they've ever done, and put them in plastic tubs, versus becoming a hoarder? When do you cross that line?
Well, Vinny, basically, if those plastic tubs started to become piled so high that you couldn't get into rooms, they were blocking heating vents.
If they're well organized on shelves, then it's not a problem. Is someone who is like me, because there's probably a lot of people like me, well, maybe there aren't any people like me at home, but maybe there are some that collect a lot of things. And sometimes I'm fascinated by this issue, that I'm a little bit worried that, as I get older and maybe, my mind isn't as sharp, can you turn into a hoarder if you're someone like me who likes stuff and is sentimental with stuff?
I hate to tell you this, but yes, especially since you kind of have a propensity toward it, that you like to collect these items. Typically, it gets set off by an extreme loss or trauma of some kind. And, sometimes there's other issues that go on, like depression or an anxiety disorder. I don't think you have either of those at this point.
But if there was some event that triggered something, then this could be the way that I would deal with it. And is that what you find with the folks that you treat?
They have a propensity for it already, and then a series of traumas typically occur.
So I'm a pre-hoarder.
You're a pre-hoarder, I'm afraid.
I'm a pre-hoarder. That's okay. I'm also a diabetic, and I'm dealing with that. Can they get better?
Yes, they can get better. It's like any mental illness. If they find the right help and they're willing to put in the time. I mean, I mentioned earlier that it would be unlikely for her not to want to hoard in this new home she was placed in, or she put her and her child into. However, if she's willing to take the time and to work on it, which ideally to be in the house where the hoarding is occurring and start to remove the items little by little. It's a marathon.
It's a marathon, but which
Not a
is
sprint.
better, to be in the house where the hoarding is and remove things, or just to get into a new location?
You can start in a new location. You can start fresh. There's no doubt about it. But the same behaviors are going to start creeping up. It's the coping mechanism.
All right. I'm going to take your number. I'm going to give it to my wife. So if there's any problem, she calls you, and we
Okay.
put an end to all this. But really, I do appreciate it. And I do feel bad for these folks.
I
I
know,
guess because
I
I
know.
sympathize with, you know,
But there is
why
hope. They just need to really make the commitment to want to change and to get the help to do so.
Thanks so much, Dr. Becky. Thank you, Maria Hale.